Good evening, our dear viewers. It's yet another Sunday evening that the Lord has made, that we would rejoice and be glad in it. It's an exciting day today, the 13th day of August 2023. Who would have thought that we would have been here today? Hasn't the Lord been amazing to the business community in Kenya and beyond? We really want to thank God, and especially on Occupy Today. Tonight, we are excited to be here because the Lord has given us an opportunity yet again to shine in the marketplace. And so I would love that you would join me even as we enjoy this show, as we learn together, as we sharpen each other, and as we make the lives of the business community, those that are there and those that would want to join the business community sooner than later, as we make their lives better by the experiences we will share tonight. And so I would want to just invite every last one of you, our dear viewers, to be with us tonight and to rejoice with us because the Lord has done great things for us as entrepreneurs. So sit back, relax, enjoy, and be part of this show tonight. My name is Sarah Kajuju. I am a growth coach and I'm excited to host you tonight. I can tell you we have amazing things in store tonight. So don't touch that dial, just be with us. We will be discussing cottage processing of yogurt using biogas. Can you imagine? Cottage processing of yogurt using biogas. And you know what? We have amazing opportunities. Oftentimes, I meet entrepreneurs who tell me that they're running out of opportunities, they're running out of what to do. Sometimes somebody has stolen their idea, and you're wondering, where do I go next? What do I do next? By the way, we have amazing, great opportunities. And I can tell you, you only need to open your ears, open your eyes, and see how many great opportunities God has availed for you and I to enjoy and to really make use of, because creativity has not run out. So this is one of those. Cottage processing of yogurt using biogas is one of those. And I'm sure that you will be excited to hear from my guest tonight. I am joined by one Karani Efanto. He's an expert of biogas, but also an expert of other areas, milk. And you will be telling us more about this. Most welcome. Thank you for finding time, Karani, to be with us tonight. Yeah. It's really exciting to host you tonight, and I'm sure as you do your introduction, we will get to know a little more about you. Yeah. So please welcome, Karibu Sana. Tell us more about yourself. Tell us what you are, where you've been, what you've been doing, and what exactly is this that we're talking about. It's a topic that is not like any other. We haven't had one of such in the recent past, and I'm excited to host you tonight, Karani.
Thank you so much, Sarah, and I'm excited to be here also, and I thank God because this is my second time on Hope Media. The last time was 12 years ago.
Wow.
And I was hosted on the same subject, but different in the sense that there was no milk. There was only biogas, and we did quite some talk on that.
Yeah.
And I got a lot of response on biogas from that show, and I thank God that I'm back today. And I've been doing biogas for the last 16 years.
Whoa.
It's been quite a while, and I want to thank God because He's planned it all from the beginning. And actually, it's a long story because it dates back to like 30 years back.
Wow.
That's when I got into livestock on the milk. And later, 20 years later, I got into biogas, and then I came into innovations and so much other things. So I thank God because He's programmed it all the time. So if I would start with the very first place. I joined the Ministry of Livestock in 1985, and it was divinely set up, I think, because from the University of Nairobi as a third year, we were just about to do the exams, and I was told, you are requested to go to the Ministry of Planning and talk to Professor Terry Lyon. He was the Director of Planning. And when I got to his office, he sent me, we were about 5 of us, the best students on economics, and I was sent to the Ministry of Livestock, and I was attached there and started doing research. And later, I left the Ministry of Livestock and went for my master's in economics and came back. then got into Tegemeo Institute and then GTZ and a few other projects. And biogas and milk featured at different times over that period. But getting seriously into biogas and milk is in the last 20 years, because beginning 2001 to 2005, again, divinely, I got into a project financed by the French embassy, and I was recruited as a trainer. And I was supposed to start training entrepreneurs on milk processing, making yogurt, and identifying technologies that can help them. So I trained a few of them. And immediately after that project, another one came on feed, but the feed didn't last a long time. I got into biogas in 1987. And 87, I want to thank God also for connecting me with the Germans. I want to appreciate an engineer called Engineer Thilo, Buchand of Berlin. I told them I'll be on the program, so they may be watching, or they may watch later.
Yes.
But I really appreciate the technical expertise I got from Engineer Thilo and Engineer Romas Rantke, both of Berlin, Akut of Berlin. One time doing the Dagoretti slaughterhouse biogas design, and later working with the EU and GIZ on promoting biogas in Kenya. And within that project of the EU, we did a lot of projects, training in Kenya, more than 500 projects. We had a big success, and I think it is still a landmark today. That success has trained a lot of entrepreneurs. It's gotten a lot of people in business. A lot of companies were set up. But later, as I was doing that, it came to conclusion actually in 2011.
Yes.
And 2012, I was private. I started doing my own biogases.
Yeah.
But while I was at GIZ, I told my administrator, Romas, told him, I think we can do biogas using a plastic tank. He told me, no, we can't. And later I understood why he was telling me no, because the project we were in under defined terms of reference. So we couldn't divert from that terms of reference. So we had to stick to the concrete systems. But immediately the project terminated, I started venturing and did the plastic tanks. And I want to appreciate Polytank and Roto Molders, Director Heril Bagera of Roto. He allowed me to innovate within his place, and we did a very nice commercial project, which is still in the market. We called it the RB 2300. But the milk now came back later after we had done the RB 2300. And it sort of, again, came as an input towards that long-term project.
Yes.
So I did, I innovated on milk. And later the UN came in and took me to Rwanda, did some projects with the IFA International, and came back. And 2021, I decided to go to the rural area. Or God designed it that I go to the rural area in Meru, and set up my own dairy and implement these projects.
Wow.
So I started implementing. I put up a pig farm, a small pig farm, set up a small biogas unit the way and seen it, with using a plastic tank, and then started cooking with the gas initially.
Wow.
Then later, last year, 2022 was the main year, I started now introducing milk. I started doing yogurt and delivering to my brothers and sisters in the area.
Yes.
Other people got interested. I started delivering to friends, a number of people.
As yogurt or as fresh
yogurt?
milk?
As
Wow.
yogurt. Now it was a complete set.
Yes.
Then I suffered a setback a few months later, 2021. My meter blew up, so I stopped the yogurt business, because yogurt, you need electricity at one point.
When did it blow up? Is it because of the plastic tank?
The heavy rains, no.
Oh, the heavy rains.
The heavy rains, the lightning, I think, blew the meter.
Oh.
Then I was told there are no meters in the country and to wait. But divinely again, somebody working with Kenya Power passed by our place.
Yes.
And I got a meter, and I started the process again. And now it's fully operational, and it's still growing, you know.
Wow.
We are small, but we have a lot of future.
Indeed.
Because biogas is very unique. Why biogas, for example? Or we are
before
coming
you
to
get
that.
there, we are coming to that. I love the passion. It's oozing out. You can talk and talk and talk. Karani, and it's exciting to really have you here and to hear so much of what you're doing. If I hear you right, you're an innovator, or what would you we call people like you now?
Yes, now, that's something I always tell people. I need to explain to you who I am.
Yes, because I had economics at some point, and now I'm hearing what you're doing and how you're disrupting even the use of the, what did you call that tank initially? But now it's the plastic tank that you can possibly use, you know?
Yeah, the concrete. So
concrete,
who am I? That's what you asked.
Yes, I think so, yes.
Actually, it's a very long story again, but I will make it short a bit.
Yes.
I started off as a training in a technical school.
Yes.
I went to Kabete Technical for my Form 1 to Form 4.
Yes.
Today is Kabete National Polytechnic. Then I got to the university. I went to Meru School for Economics and then went to the university to study economics.
Yes.
So I was a technician before becoming an economist.
I see.
And doing my economics in government and later out, I ended up in Unga Limited, Elianto, but my job was terminated because Elianto was sold to Bidco and Bidco didn't take us up. So I got into the private sector.
I see.
And I started now, fighting in the private sector as an Juakali artisan, doing all sorts of things to see how I can make ends meet. And God is so gracious. That is the time, actually, the Lord picked me from the pit because I was really worn out. And he got me up, and His promises are yes and amen.
You can say that again.
I can say that again and again and again. And today I've converted myself into an innovator, or the Lord has just molded me into what I am.
Innovator.
I consult for different agencies, the UN and GIZ and others. That is great favor, because for somebody who studied economics and didn't go far with economics, then coming back to the old trade, technical, and again excelling, that is really God's favor.
It's really the grace of God, isn't it?
The grace of God.
Wow,
So,
wow.
So I thank God for everything, and He's sort of staggered it across all those years, and I've seen Him in every aspect of my innovations.
Wow.
I don't actually sit down and plan an innovation. It just appears to me in the Spirit. And so I always give credit to Him, and all the glory goes to Him.
Wow.
And He knows why this program is moving the way it is.
You can
I
say
believe,
that
yeah.
again.
So
yeah. Isn't he the chief innovator?
He's the chief innovator.
He really is the chief innovator.
I was listening to something, sorry for interrupting.
No, it's
I was
all right.
listening to something about the building of the ark yesterday. And, if you look at the instructions given to Noah to build the ark, they are so unique in the sense that it is a particular kind of timber.
Yes.
But it floated.
And the measurements.
And the measurements and everything.
Everything was, God was just so meticulous in what He wanted it to look like, isn't it?
And a lot of other things that we don't see, how that timber floated. And how, because if you listen to the actual statement for somebody who studied the Noah's Ark, it was a box. It was not a ship, the way it was, the way you normally define it. It was actually a box.
A box.
Yes.
It floated.
But all the measurements of all the ships that are built today, they lie within the definitions of what He defined for the ark.
Wow.
So he's the chief innovator, he's the engineer and everything. So we thank God for that.
Wow. And I'm hoping that somebody watching this tonight, you're picking that God being the chief innovator, that in your art, in your industry, in whatever you're doing, just like Karani would testify, you will have God as the one who gives you that idea, and you will allow Him to change your mind. You will allow Him to renew you and to show you how you will do your art. Why? Because oftentimes we go out there and we're doing our things haphazardly without allowing God to be at the center of it. But I'm loving it that, Karani, you're actually standing to testify that it is God that has given you those ideas, and it is Him that has kept giving you the way you must go. So moving on then, why biogas?
Why biogas?
Why biogas?
Biogas is a wonderful fuel. It is something that is universally great, I would say. If you go to Europe, they don't do small biogases for households. Biogas is commercial. It's big scale.
Yeah.
If the only parameter I would give you that would explain that would be like, you need like 10,000 cows to be able to do a small biogas plant in Germany. But they don't count them in terms of cow. Well, the cows are the numeral for the biogas, but they use vegetable waste. They use like grass and whatever else can decompose. So why biogas? Why biogas? Because biogas is a natural fuel, is a renewable energy. It is easy to make if you know what it is and how it happens. And therefore, it provides you a very cheap fuel when you are using it for something like milk.
Yes.
I'll give you an example. If you're already keeping cows, you have the dung.
Yes.
And this dung is what you need to make your biogas.
Yes.
So you don't need an extra input other than dung and water.
Oh, really?
Yes, exactly. You only need dung and water. And as long as you are able to understand the science of biogas. And the science is very simple. Every school child, I think, now understand that science because it's taught in school. As long as you get that material, you dilute it with water, you make a fluid, and you put it in a chamber where that chamber is in the absence of oxygen, then that bacteria that we call anaerobic bacteria will definitely break that material, and the resultant thing that it gives you is biogas.
Gas.
Yes, it's gas. So your only effort is now to capture that gas.
Yes.
So you must create a digester system in such a way that you are able to capture that gas and channel it.
Conduit.
Yes, and conduit to wherever you want to use it, and then you do other things. So maybe I can jump a little bit. What I've done is that the traditional biogas systems are concrete built, but I decided to use plastic tank because that's what came into my spirit. And it has been successful, and testimonies are out there. And after doing the production unit, I was able to do innovations on the delivery system. First, also on the gas capture system, because you need to have the digester and the capture system for the gas, because you can't allow the gas to escape. You won't have a chance to use it. So you need the production, the gas capture, the delivery system, the user point, which is the burner, the cooking burner, and the utensils.
Wow.
So my innovations have been on all those levels.
Oh.
The production area, the gas capture area, the delivery system, and the gas point use, and the gas use equipment.
Are they different? The gas use equipment, are they different from what I use with my normal burner, the gas burner in the house?
Yes, the first thing we did at Roto, although the emphasis was not placed there, was I got a jiko from Chinese. Chinese are very advanced on biogas. They have made a special jiko for biogas, which is, we would call it an economy jiko. And we tested it, and we cooked githeri, and it was comfortable with very little gas. So, but later I did more innovations. I've developed my own kind of jiko system, although it's a micro, it's a juakali made, using domestic materials. But it is doing the same thing as the Chinese jiko. In fact, it's more economical than the Chinese jiko. Because all I've done is innovate on the flow rate. The amount of gas flowing from the capture to the user point. Yes, and then I've innovated on the equipment that we use. They are the same equipment you use in your house. Now, the science there was, I'm doing a small digester. And maybe to backtrack a little bit, when I was doing this, it was funded by Rome, by IFAD of Rome. And I was lucky to get that funding for 5 digesters. And I was given a challenge that time, 2012, 2013. They said, we want to see this small digester cooking the traditional githeri in the Kenyan market. So, and that challenge that I couldn't do at that time. But today, I reported, some months back, I reported to them that I succeeded in that, which is 10 years later. And they have said I should get some assignments in Nigeria to do empowerment of the youth. I think they are processing the project if they do well and good. So I did that, and I innovated on the flow rate. I innovated now on the gas use. Much later, this came 2022. And if you look at the flow rate and the gas use, it's a matter of how much gas is flowing through the pipe, through the gas pipe. And why do I control the rate? It is because biogas cooks is more intense than LPG. If you put a sufuria of milk on the biogas and the other one on LPG, the biogas will spill faster than the LPG.
Explain to me that, like a little girl, I want to understand that. What will make this one burn faster than the other one? I don't know.
We call it the potency of biogas.
Potency.
Yeah, what
Okay.
happens
Yes.
is the gas is able to take in oxygen
Yes.
and then burn with a stronger flame
Yes.
than LPG. So it generates more heat
More heat
per
than,
unit,
yeah,
and therefore it is going to cook faster than
than LPG.
LPG.
Okay.
Now, if you understand that,
Yes.
then you can reduce the amount of biogas, flowing and cook at the same rate as LPG. So that's the innovation I did. Controlled the flow,
Yes.
reduce the amount of gas going,
Yes.
and therefore cook the same time,
Yeah.
and I'm able to do the same job.
Oh, I see. Wow,
Then,
indeed innovation,
Yeah,
yes.
very simple things, but very impactful.
Very impactful.
The other
indeed.
thing which is I found very impactful
Yes.
is how many people in Kenya have ever tried to boil milk using a pressure cooker? I don't think there's anybody.
Why would I do that?
Why would you do that?
Why would I do that, Karani?
I do it because, one, I have little gas from a small digester,
Yes.
and I want my milk to boil within a specific time.
Yeah.
I set an alarm.
Yes.
I do it, I put 5 liters, for example, for the trials,
Yes.
and I set 15 minutes. The first time I set 30 minutes. It poured all over.
Oh my goodness.
So
what would even happen? Might it even throw off the
Yes,
lid?
it didn't, but it is sprayed all over the place.
Yes.
So I reduced the time to 15 minutes, and I started timing.
Yes.
And now I normally sieve the milk and put it there 5 liters,
Yes.
and set 15 minutes.
Yes.
And by the time it's exactly 15 minutes,
Yes.
the temperature is at 90 degrees centigrade. And
Okay.
pasteurizing for yogurt, you need 85 degrees.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so it is the same equipment,
Yes.
but you need an innovation of a kind
Yeah.
to make it usable. So it became so interesting
Yeah.
to me. So now I'm saving gas
Yes.
and
You're
time,
achieving
what I
pasteurization.
want.
Yes, exactly.
Yes. And I've
Oh,
trained
wow.
my workers, and this week I've not been there.
Yes.
And I see reports they are doing well.
They're doing
Everything
well.
is processed.
So are you using a pressure cooker? As you
Yes, I'm
said?
using pressure cookers, yeah.
Wow.
I have one pressure cooker which is 11 liters,
Yes.
and that one goes to 18 minutes
Okay.
when it's full.
Yeah.
So I'm able to do the timing. We do experiments. We first
Okay.
of all set at 15.
Yeah.
We see where the temperature will reach at 15, and then we add a little time.
Yes.
And finally, we arrive there.
Wow.
So we are, for example, 11 liters, 18 minutes, perfect,
Yes.
90 degrees.
Now tell me, now that we are discussing pasteurizing or rather yogurt processing using biogas,
Yeah.
is it just the pasteurizing that you do using biogas, or are the other processes also applicable? I don't know.
Now they are applicable.
Yes.
And the challenge I got from the UN for the Rwanda project
Yes.
was to use biogas for the whole process.
Yes.
I could use it for 2 levels,
Yes.
for pasteurizing and for incubating. But then the refrigeration, because you have to refrigerate after that,
Yes.
that one I used solar. So it's a combination. Actually, I called it an hybrid of biogas and solar.
Biogas and solar.
But at my small cottage, I'm using biogas for pasteurizing.
Yes.
And I have 3 methods of incubating cultured milk. We tried one during the French Embassy project,
Yes.
2001, 2005.
Yes.
It worked perfect.
Yes.
There's a lady, I don't know whether she's still doing it in Kahawa West. Not Kahawa West, Kahawa Sukari.
Curry.
And she has been doing a lot. She was in the market that time, 2004-5.
Yes.
She was doing a Tessian yogurt.
Yes.
And she used to sell at a petrol station at Kahawa and some other supermarkets.
Yes.
So we innovated on that system, and later we innovated on something else. And my wife also introduced a very interesting innovation.
Yes.
I know they are watching. It's something that she has been using in the house for a long time.
Yeah.
But she never saw it as an innovation. So I picked it, I saw it and discovered it will do the work.
Yes.
So that's the one I'm using right now. It is simply conserving temperature
Yes.
using a blanket.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you boil your water, if you want to bathe in the morning and you don't have a hot shower,
Yes.
you can do your water and put it in a 5-liter can
Yes.
and put it in a bucket and cover it with a blanket.
Okay.
In the morning, you have to cool that water.
Are you serious?
Yes.
It will be so hot.
It will be so hot, you
So
have to
it's
cool
like
it.
those baskets. I used to see
Yes,
some
like
baskets
fireless
that were
cookers.
fireless cookers.
Yes, it's like that. But now this is simpler because it's just an ordinary blanket and a
Yes.
bucket.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's the one I'm using.
Oh, innovations,
So
innovations.
it's simple.
Yeah.
and very impactful. So I believe,
Wow.
yeah.
Wow.
So
We might have to call you the master, I mean, the guy full of enough innovations, because it looks like every day of your life you're doing one innovation after the other.
Yeah.
And I'm really hopeful that our dear viewers, you're there and you're seeing these things, that there is something possible. Why? Because enough times we think we don't have this, we don't have the other, yet God has given us amazing ideas that we can ride on. And looking at Karani here and the things that he's sharing, biogas, yogurt processing using biogas, might look so basic. I know it requires time, it requires energy
Yeah.
to be able to bring out the best. But how about you just begin something and trust God to give you the ideas that you need? And of course, Karani, I just want to find out some more
Yeah.
on how then are there other opportunities available for somebody that might be watching and wondering, where are the opportunities? What is all this? And of course, I really would want you to break it down for a very basic business person, somebody who hasn't ventured out,
Yeah.
somebody who doesn't even know what biogas is all about. And of course, because milk is available and there are other things here, there available, what more? Where are the opportunities for a basic business person who has not ventured out like you have?
I think my immediate inspiration right now is to encourage people in different localities
Yeah.
to understand biogas, because it's so simple to make. So the opportunity would be for artisans, for example, who want to make biogas digesters, simple ones, because I've simplified the digester. You know, think of it like this. We normally have the concrete as the dominant system. But with this innovation, you can use a plastic tank.
Yeah.
A normal plastic tank without modifying anything. All you have to do is invert the plastic tank into what we call a compensation tank. A compensation tank is one constructed using concrete. Any mason in the village can do that.
Yes.
So any entrepreneur who wants to venture into that, it's very simple to invest in. It's very simple to construct. And the opportunity then would be to get that biogas to do now the different activities that you can do with it. We had a project during GIZ in Githunguri, for example, where one guy, Moses Ngang, I remember his name, he was doing a lot of baking. Actually, the daughter was doing a lot of mandazi and all those things that require deep frying. And the project went on well for a number of years. But unfortunately, it is stopped because the daughter got married and she went to a new home. So the parents could not run the project because they required to do all this and then move it to a shop in Githunguri market and sell the mandazis and wherever. So it is stopped. But that's a big opportunity, the value addition.
Value addition.
To different products. So there are a lot of opportunities with biogas. You can use it to do those kinds of baking. I did a oven one time in Rwanda, and we started baking. We started actually with traditional bananas. Instead of roasting them on charcoal, you put them in an oven with a tray, and they come out roasted.
Wow.
Just like the double pan now.
Yeah.
And it's something that you can do in villages. So there is that opportunity. People can learn how to do the milk so that you integrate the biogas with milk. People can learn how to do different other things. There are so many things.
Yeah.
If I had time to think
and
of the
I really, really would want us to even delve deeper and see what else, because the cottage industry is quite large.
Very large.
And there are many, many other things other than yogurt that one can utilize biogas to do.
Exactly.
And I love it that you're saying that in a very simple way, you don't have to be so big.
No.
You can have somebody just do the concrete thing for you within the village, and you're able to utilize that. So dear viewers, I'm really, really hoping that you're picking something. And as we take this break, I just want you to bring on your questions, bring on your comments, so that we can be able to address them with this amazing expert that we have on the show tonight. And of course, we have a lot of insight that you can take from this. Why? Because God has given us those opportunities. He's given us the brains. And so you don't need to say that you don't have it. You have it, we have it, and we only need to discover, where do we begin? Even with the help of an expert such as this and others out there, there is so much we can do. So we take a break for a couple of minutes, and I'm looking forward to being with you in the second half of this show. So keep it right there. Grab your cup of water or some hot tea, and enjoy it even as we take a very short break and come back. Thank you very much.
Going back to the heart of worship.
Whether up the mountain or down the valley, we were created to worship God.
Enjoy carefully selected worship music every Wednesday all day long.
Oh, I will sing of the goodness of God.
We take it a notch higher with more worship music.
Every Wednesday
Is Worship Wednesday.
only on Hope FM. Listen and live.
Join John Carson every weekday as he takes us on a journey through the Bible.
Whoever shall seek to save his life, if you go back to living for yourself, you're going to lose it. But whoever shall lose his life, give up his life for my sake, he shall preserve it.
Enjoy interesting, knowledge-packed, yet simple teachings through his humor and in-depth understanding of God's Word.
The last people that tried to put God in a box, literally, he rose again. He wouldn't stay in their compartment. If God was small enough for me to figure out, he wouldn't be big enough for me to worship.
Tune in to Hope TV for John Carson every 10 p.m., 4 a.m., and 10 a.m. weekdays on Hope TV, where you look and live.
Gather your family together to see
Superbook!
Come Explore with Chris,
Awesome!
Joy,
Where are we?
and Gizmo as they journey back in time.
You have done evil in the sight of the Lord. You have built temples and altars to the false god Baal.
I see 4 men walking around in the fire unharmed.
It appears we are now in ancient Persia, 5th century BC.
There'll be action, fun,
Here we come! Oh, right!
and plenty of adventure.
Superbook!
Great. Thank you, thank you, thank you for keeping it right there. We are back, and we are glad that you haven't taken off. You're still with us. Thank you very much for being on the show tonight as we discuss milk processing or yogurt processing, cottage yogurt processing using biogas. Amazing, amazing stuff that Karani Efanto has brought us tonight. I'm really, really hoping that this will inspire somebody, this will encourage somebody, and this will open up the mind of somebody that has been thinking of the opportunities that would be available in such an area. Or it would even give you an idea of something that you can do. Why? Because the show tonight, Occupy Today, just invests in business people who want to grow, who want to begin, who want to even get the courage to get out and do something. And therefore, I just still want us to explore that area of opportunities, Karani.
Yes.
Because I feel there's still more opportunities that would be availed by biogas in itself. So tell me, are there other opportunities other than yogurt? We're talking about yogurt. And I know you talked about mandazi or pastries making by that lady in Githunguri.
Yeah.
Are there other things that people can do using biogas? I know. Like I know one time my mother in the village really was pursuing it for just home utilization.
Yeah.
But even beyond that, I'm sure there are more opportunities that will be open up as a result of biogas.
Yeah, true, Sarah. There are a lot of opportunities with biogas. And I'll cite a few examples because we did a lot of projects with the GIZ team.
Yeah.
We had a school in Ruai where they used to make like 400 chapatis every Tuesday
Wow.
using biogas. They had set up a biogas unit
Yes.
And they had some cows at the backyard, and they would use all that gas to do chapatis on Tuesday, and of course do other cooking githeri and so many other things. We have a school in Nyeri that runs 100% kitchen with biogas. He's a former colleague of mine in school. He's now running a school called, is it Shama or something? Yeah, Shama. And they run the kitchen using biogas. We have many other things, actually. We have the deep frying, we are saying the milk, the baking. We have opportunities like the creating of those digesters themselves.
Okay.
The technology has been revolutionized because previously you needed a lot of training to do a biogas digester.
Yeah.
But right now with this kind of simple approach where you just use a plastic tank inverted into concrete compensation tank, is as anybody can do it. So all they need is to secure knowledge about measurements and then do the first pilot or come for training, and they're in business. So there's an opportunity in construction, there's an opportunity in different uses for biogas.
Yes.
We have a gentleman who runs a stopover for buses in Narok. We did a biogas for him.
Yes.
And he sells like to the passengers like 500 chapatis a day,
Wow.
like thousands of mandazis and ugali and so many things. And he just piped the biogas from his backyard
Wow.
at the bridge at Narok. So there's a big opportunity if you can harness the biogas.
The biogas.
We did a project in Gatondo where it was piped into a hotel. So if you are able to do biogas and it gets into a marketplace, it can be very valuable for cooking. We have people in Githunguri who are already piping gas to neighbors to sell.
Wow.
Metered gas.
Yes.
So if you're able to construct a big digester, then you can as well sell gas depending on where you are.
I know.
Because you can't, well, Chinese are selling it in bags, and bags will eventually come. I innovated on a bag actually from the industry here, and we tried it at Roto, but we didn't commercialize it because you can, if you are able to capture 1 cubic meter of biogas, you can cook with it that evening and you are comfortable. So you can be selling in bags,
Okay.
what you call balloons.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of opportunities. There are companies that can make the balloons. There are others who can, you know, go into the handling of balloons and so many other things. So yes, the opportunities
Not
are
to
there.
mention the pipes, you know,
Yes,
the
the
piping
piping,
system that
exactly.
requires people to actually you know, implement that.
The gadgets involved in the piping, because we have meters for biogas, we have desulfurizers which remove the hydrogen sulfide.
Yeah.
We have cookers, people. There are so many shops in town who are selling accessories for biogas.
Yes.
So there are a lot of opportunities within the biogas sector.
Wow, it's a very rich value chain.
It's a very rich value
Yes,
chain
yeah.
and requires a lot of focus and a lot of support.
Yeah.
And maybe that's where the government comes in.
I know.
Yeah, and the
I
government.
wonder whether there is that rich support from the government, or where is it? Where is it? Is it there?
The support is there, I would
Yes.
say, but initially it was driven by donors.
Yes.
Because when I talk about the UN and GIZ, those are donors, and they are the ones who made propositions to government, came and set up projects and starting driving the agenda. But right now the president personally has made comments on the same. He said renewable energy is a priority for his government.
Yes.
So the only thing is to mainstream it. I don't know how it will be done, because some of these micro projects can be very beneficial.
Yeah.
If it's packaged, because mine is a cottage system that can be packaged, very clearly defined, so that you can lift it and put it in different places. So if the government can come in with that support, then that would be very good for entrepreneurs and for the youth especially.
I know.
Like in Nigeria, where I'm supposed to be consulting at one point, the Hoyo State government, you know, it's federal government. So they have one state called Hoyo. Yeah, and the government there has a youth program. So they always say they are the pace setters in Nigeria.
Yes.
So they want their youth to be ahead of all the other youths in Nigeria.
Yes.
And with such technologies, I believe they would be ahead.
Wow.
Because when it comes to roasting groundnuts and doing whatever,
I know.
cooking, biogas is very strategic. So
I'm even imagining, you know, I have seen a plant that does drying of leaves and food.
Exactly,
you know?
yeah.
And I'm only imagining that that can even be set up because in the village, you know, especially in the villages where people have cows, you already have the ability to make your biogas right there.
Exactly.
And that is where the rich foods come from. So you can dry the managus and everything else and be able to
Very
true.
Very
sell
true.
them.
Yeah, drying is, although there's a competition between biogas and solar, when it comes to drying, solar is a better option in the tropics because it's easily accessible and the dryers have been developed.
Yes.
But biogas is also equally good if you have plenty of it. If you have plenty of biogas, then you can use it for drying.
Right.
And that would be very useful also.
I can imagine.
There are many opportunities,
What you're telling me, Karani, is that within that value chain of biogas, there is so much one can do.
Exactly.
You can patch yourself within a very small area and do so much.
Yes.
And so our young people, I'm hoping that somebody is listening this evening and you're seeing the many myriad of opportunities that are available within this ecosystem.
Yes.
So that then we don't keep saying the opportunities are not there, yet they're there. And there is somewhere you can begin and pick it up.
Exactly.
But then again, in terms of milk processing, let's just go back there.
Yeah.
What does this look like end to end?
Yes, milk processing is so simple and so easy to do. As long as you get fresh milk, you can easily convert it into fermented milk. And that is the work of bacteria.
Yes.
It's not our job.
Yeah.
So the bacteria has been developed.
Oh, please say that again.
Yeah, it's not man's effort. That's why I say, I always joke and tell people, I have a battalion of bacteria who work for me. Because biogas is bacteria, that degrading material. Fermenting milk is bacteria. So I have a battalion of bacteria working for you. Millions of them. So it's as long as you get the milk and it's good quality milk, and you have the bacteria. These days the bacteria is available separated by science. You can buy it from the shops, and you inject that bacteria in the milk at a particular temperature. And I always tell people that mine is divinely defined because when bacteria was created, it was created to work within a particular range, the different species. So if you get yogurt bacteria, it will only work between 40 and 45 degrees centigrade. If the temperature goes beyond, it's going to kill it. So what does it look like to do yogurt? It's very simple. Get fresh milk. Heat it, pasteurize it to 85 or 95 degrees centigrade. You want to do that to kill pathogens, to kill anything that is harmful. Then chill it immediately. You need to cool it. You can use cold water or ice or whatever you want to use. Once it comes down to 45, you inject that bacteria. You must have that bacteria available. And now you need to keep that batch of milk for a period of 8 hours minimum for that bacteria to populate that milk and make it a ferment.
At the same temperature between 40 and 45?
Yes, it must be in that range. That's where incubation now comes. That is incubation.
Okay.
So incubation, that's what we are talking about when you are mentioning the fire rice cooker, for example. That's one equipment you use. You can use the traditional systems like I'm using, the one I discovered with my wife. You can use another gadget I developed using a controller. My son imported some controllers. And we used them to, actually that's another a very interesting innovation that came by because I was pursuing poultry and I developed an incubator for eggs. But it hatched once, hatched a second time, but the third time it 100% failed.
What?
And I knew the eggs were good. So I was wondering why. And then as I reflected on it, in the spirit it came, why don't you change the temperature from the egg temperature, make it the yogurt temperature, and put a batch of milk in there. So I did it, and that incubator has been the one I used to launch my yogurt business in Meru.
Wow.
And it's such a simple equipment. Uses DC.
Are you telling people import your
Yes, if they are interested, I can
incubators.
fabricate
and
them
then
for you.
let's
Yeah.
change the temperature.
Yes.
And what is a controller? I heard
A
you say.
controller is
Yes.
is a thermostat.
Oh, I see.
What it does,
Yes.
you need to keep this bacteria between 40 and 45 degrees
45.
centigrade.
Yes.
So you need something to keep that temperature going there. So I have this dry system,
Yes.
dry air system.
Yes.
There's a bulb inside, and this bulb is producing heat.
Yes.
And the controller senses when the temperature goes to 45, it cuts off the supply of electricity.
I see.
When it goes down to 40, it puts it on. So the
Yes.
bulb comes on.
Yeah.
It heats the environment again. So the milk is kept at that temperature.
Yeah.
And what you get after 8 hours is
Yes.
perfect yogurt.
Wow.
Yeah, so perfect actually.
I can imagine.
And I'm using whole milk. So
Yes.
everybody is saying in the village, my milk tastes better
Yes.
than everybody's else yogurt and mala.
Exactly.
Yeah, so
Wow.
that's very interesting. So
Yeah.
the milk process is that.
Yes.
You need fresh milk,
Yeah.
clean milk,
Yes.
and then sieve it, make sure it's very clean.
Yes.
Pasteurize it, make sure the
Yes.
temperature is as high as 85.
Yes.
Chill it, culture
40
it
to
40,
45.
yeah, 40, 45. We
Yes.
say 45 so that you're on the higher side.
Yes.
Then culture it,
Yes.
that's adding bacteria. Keep it for the 8 hours in the incubator.
Yes.
Come and harvest your yogurt.
Yes.
Put whatever you want to put it, the additives which are irrelevant to me.
Yeah.
You know, the colors, and people
Yes.
like the colors and
Yes.
the flavors.
Yeah.
But to me, they're irrelevant
Yes.
because the main milk fermented is what is
The real yogurt.
the real yogurt.
Wow.
So that's the process of yogurt. And mala is also interesting.
Yeah. Is it the
Yeah.
same process?
It's the same process, but temperatures are different for
Yeah.
the bacteria.
Yeah.
If you go below 40, you are in a different temperature range.
Yes.
That's what we call the mesospheric.
Yes.
Above 40, the yogurt is the mopheric.
Yeah.
Mesospheric is below 40.
Aha.
So you need to get the right species of bacteria
Yes.
for your temperature range so that you get the right product.
Wow.
Yeah, so you must know who is supplying you must ask your company supplying your bacteria,
Yes.
what temperature range do they require for incubation. So those are basics that you can capture
Yeah.
and start a business very easily.
Very good.
Yeah.
And I'm really, really excited about this, Karani. Somebody called Ruben Murevi, watching program of yogurt processing from Meru, very innovative and technically relevant insight by Mr. Karani. And yet still another one. Hello, Hope. I am Samson Osiro from Mombasa. Is it possible we get a recording of this biogas issue? There are vital information I may need to refer to later. And I'm sure that Samson Osiro, you can get the link on YouTube so that then you're able to watch this. And I'm sure Karani will be sharing his contacts as well so that then you can get in touch with him for more and more information just in case you need it.
Yeah.
And can you imagine, time is running out. It has run out so fast.
Yeah.
Your passion just oozes out, Karani, and you keep talking and talking and talking and talking. And as you do your parting shot now, you probably would mention, I know this is not a very good place to end with a challenge, the challenge of biogas, but also milk processing. But you can mention one or two, but also you could share your contacts with us. And if you had a word for somebody out there who's been wanting to get into this space, where would they begin?
Okay. I think there are quite a number of challenges in the industry, Sarah. But one of the greatest challenges is the cost of biogas for the traditional systems.
Yes.
So the cost of biogas, the functionality of biogas, because if you construct the concrete and it doesn't, what do you call it? It doesn't sort of line up properly,
Yes.
it's going to refuse to give you results.
Yes.
So you need to be sure about the constructor, the guy who constructed for you. Concrete is not cheap. But with these new models that we are doing, it's easy to have a proof system. A system which anyone will understand and anyone can troubleshoot.
Yes.
So that's, I think, is the biggest challenge within that. And if you don't have knowledge of biogas, then I believe you need to investigate biogas more. It's just reviewing, because there's a lot of literature today on the internet.
Yes.
Understand it more, understand the bacteria and how they function and how they work,
Yes.
and deliver the results. So I believe knowledge
Is power.
is the key getting you working on biogas.
Indeed.
So other challenges before used to, like in the milk sector, used to be regulatory. But I believe in this government, things are different.
Yeah.
We used to have a lot. I tried milk a long time ago, in 2004.
Yeah.
But there were issues then. The dairy board was not flexible. Right now, as we talk, I'm registered with the dairy board, and they're encouraging me, and you see, and the entire system of government is encouraging me to continue doing what I'm doing and to create employment. So the regimes are different, and the challenges are different for the different regimes. So.
Yes.
But principally for biogas is the construction and the concrete systems.
I hear you.
But we resolved those because of innovation. So yeah, so that's me. If people want to get in touch with me, they can get me on 0768 937 936 937. 0768 936 937. That number will be, it's already operational, but I will activate the WhatsApp and others by Tuesday. So yeah, so for now, they can use my personal line. That is for the cottage in Meru.
Yes.
Yeah, so the personal line would be 0708 264 724.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great, great, great. Very, very interesting, exciting, and we are really, truly happy to have you tonight, Karani.
Thank you so
You
much.
have been amazing, and I'm sure our participants tonight, the viewers, have picked something that they can run with. But just in case you need more help, please reach out to Karani and others in the industry who can be able to help you to see where to begin. I'm excited that you have been there with us tonight, dear viewers, and we are thankful to God that He has given you this opportunity. He's given us this opportunity to be together. We are looking forward to next Sunday, same time, on the 20th of August, to be on the Occupy Today show. So for tonight, it is Kwaheri. Have a very good week ahead. See you next time. See you next Sunday, and God bless you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Asante.